My name is Taylor Broadley. I graduated from St. Joe's in 2014, and I'm currently a senior product manager at Comcast. I work on the multifamily technology and product team. We are responsible for discovering, developing, and deploying technology solutions to multifamily stakeholders. And a little bit of background on multifamily. Multifamily properties include apartment buildings, condominiums, dormitories, senior living facilities. And it's about a third of the Comcast footprint. Our multifamily stakeholders really include the property owners, the property managers, as well as the residents. So at a high level, we spend our time interviewing those stakeholders to learn more about their wants and needs. We collaborate very closely with our engineering team to develop technology to solve those wants and needs. And then we work closely with our go-to-market partners to get those solutions in the hands of the customers. So there really isn't a entry path into product management that I'm aware of, at least. For me, I started at Comcast in 2016 as a problem manager on the reliability engineering team. As a problem manager, I was responsible for managing the root cause analysis process for high severity production issues. So issues that really hit 10,000 customers or more. And it was a really fantastic opportunity for me to learn about the Comcast business as well as the technology, but it was very stressful and unpredictable. And I really loved being a Comcaster, and I loved it just as much then. So I had to start figuring out how to navigate the next step in my career. And I did that by asking individuals who worked at Comcast that were in other roles out for coffee or lunch, simply to learn more about what they did and how they got into that role. So I almost instantly was fascinated with product management and developing products. I spent a lot of time talking with product managers at Comcast, asking for their advice, how they got into the industry, what books to read, what trainings to participate in, podcasts to listen to. And after a few months of learning more about product management, as well as talking to product managers, I was able to land a role in the field. To be a successful product manager, you really need to be able to prioritize as well as collaborate. There are hundreds of things that I could do to improve the customer experience, and I'm really balancing the wants and needs of a ton of different stakeholders. So it's imperative to prioritize those items and focus on the ones that are going to produce the most value for both the company and the customer. So prioritization is one, and I learned a ton about prioritization at St. Joe's when I was balancing my schoolwork and my extracurricular activities. The second big item for being a successful product manager is really collaboration. You can't do it alone. So it's important to stay open-minded and listen to others' thoughts and opinions and work together to develop the solutions. Again, I learned a lot about collaboration at St. Joe's, especially through group projects. I know that no one really loves a group project, but it does teach you a ton about collaboration. Probably learned the most about collaboration doing the business policy course my senior year. Yeah, it really comes down to learning. Students who are interested in the product management path should learn about the product development life cycle. They should learn about how to properly interview people in a way where you eliminate bias information. And it really is important to stay up to date on what is going on in the industry that you're producing products for. For instance, I'm a product manager for multifamily. It's really important for me to know what's going on in the multifamily world across the US, especially with like FCC regulations and things along those lines. So if you were a product manager, let's say in the food industry, you should really stay up to date with what's going on in that industry, the food industry. I think my favorite networking tip is really when you meet somebody to remember their name. Sounds very simple, but it's very important. And it's not just remembering their name, but when you speak to them, make sure you say their name. It, again, might sound a little silly and obvious, but people like to hear their name being said. It makes them feel heard and seen. People really won't remember what you said in the long run, but they will remember how you made them feel, and saying their names a couple times in a conversation is a great way to network and make that connection. For me, actually, it's a bit different. My biggest barrier was my lack of experience in product management. The recruiter for my current role actually told me that I was not the right fit for the role and would not let me interview. And I actually went around the recruiter and asked the hiring manager out for coffee to convince him that I was a great fit and that I wouldn't let him down if he let me interview for the role. A few weeks later, I was offered the role. And since that time, I've been promoted and I'm now a people leader. So the real moral of the story is don't take no for an answer and do what you have to do. Diversity and inclusion is very important to me, both in my personal life as well as my professional life. I want to be known as someone who fosters a culture of inclusion and makes everyone feel supported, embraced, and heard. Absolutely. Comcast is very much committed to DE&I. The company website actually states that we know a diverse, equitable, and inclusive company is a more innovative and successful one. Across our workforce, products, and content, we embrace diversity of background, perspective, culture, and experience. And together with our partners, we are working to fight injustice and inequity against any race, ethnicity, gender, or sexual identity, disability, or veteran status. And I do feel very proud to work for this company and grateful that the company provides us with trainings, programs, etc., to really better ourselves both professionally and personally. I am a big reader. For product management, I would recommend Customers Included by an author named Mark Hurst, or Inspired by Marty Kagan. That is a very big product management book right now. For self-improvement, I would recommend Atomic Habits by James Clear. That book really changed my life. I would highly recommend it. And another really good book for self-improvement is by Rutger Bregman. It's called Humankind. Also, just for fun, I would recommend reading Ride of a Lifetime by Bob Iger, the CEO. He's actually back to being the CEO of Disney right now. And Breath by James Nestor tells you a ton about why we breathe. It's fascinating. Really recommend that one. Well, it's not really a resource. I definitely recommend everyone give meditation a try. Give it 10 minutes a day for 30 days. You won't notice a difference immediately. It takes a good 30 days or so for you to notice those benefits. But if you ask me, you'll improve your focus and your ability to stay present, which it's a superpower to stay present. So I would highly recommend that to anybody looking to, develop over the next couple of years. I think I try to say this now to some of our interns and our new grads that come into the Comcast world, it's all going to work out the way it's supposed to. I remember being heartbroken and feeling like a complete failure when all of my friends were getting jobs at PwC and Ernst & Young, like months before we graduated. And looking back now, I can see that that was really the path for them. It was not the path for me. And you are going to experience tough times, both professionally and personally, but those tough times happen to shape you and develop you into the person that you're meant to be, doing what you're meant to be doing. So it's all going to work out. I know it might feel stressful and unknown at the time, but it will work out in the long run.